I mean, I'm chilled and relaxed.
I know, but we're not relaxing. We're making a video.
Well, I'm not allowed to relax and make a video?
No, you guys.
What do you guys think? You tell me. You think I'm allowed to relax and make a video? I'm out of the screen.
Well, that's because I set it up for your slouchy ass.
How's that, guys? You see me?
This guy. Hey everybody, I'm Alex.
What's up, guys? I'm Frankie.
This is FnaVanlife, and today we're going to be talking to you about the cost of living in a van. Frankie and I track every single dollar that we spend when we're on the road. I have a very detailed spreadsheet.
It's so categorized that there's been times where I'm like, let's just not put this in there. And she's like, no, we're putting it in. I'm like, all right.
We gotta stay consistent.
Yeah, for sure.
The thing about living van life is that we don't have a ton of income coming in, so we want to make sure that every dollar that we have lasts. And so if we're not tracking what we're spending, we might end up spending way more than we have.
Yep, and then guess what? We can't continue to live this lifestyle.
We are going to talk to you about how much it costs to live in our van, Lolo. Right now is the lockdown in Seattle and all across the world. COVID-19 obviously is happening right now. So we're not living in Lolo right now, and we've come to a park that's closed to get some natural beauty.
Hopefully they don't cuff us up, you know? I think we'll be fine. We're not breaking any rules. We're literally just parked the van here. We're keeping social distancing, and we're just hanging out talking to the camera for the time being.
Let's consult the budget.
Let's do it! This is the part that I hate because I like to spend money. Even though I'm pretty frugal about what I buy and everything, I like it. So it's like tough for the things that I want and I can't buy them. I'm like, ugh, so I don't love this part.
The good thing about having a budget when you're traveling with a partner is that you hold each other accountable.
What are you gonna buy?
Yeah, so you have to talk about it. We have a shared budget, so we each have our own separate bank accounts, but then we have a together bank account that has our money for travel. Because we're pooling all of our money together for this travel, it doesn't have to be like, you spent $18 on lunch and then I spent $30 on dinner, so then you have to pay me back.
No, that's messy, that's time consuming, that's trouble. We don't need that.
So we have our joint bank account. We each put the same amount of money in whenever we need to like reload, and then we know that every dollar that we spend is 50-50.
But everything that we are going to purchase, we talk about, we make sure that it's a reasonable buy, and then the other person says, sure, go ahead and get it.
Rolling back to the beginning, purchasing Lolo cost us $4,000. Purchasing the vehicle, registering the vehicle, getting the vehicle insured for a full year, buying new tires, and an upfront $12,000 in engine parts because we bought a little bit of an older model.
Yeah.
All of that together cost us $9,000.
Yeah, and the van build cost us $7,500.
So purchasing and all of those upfront costs plus outfitting the vehicle, we spent $16,000.
Yeah, I feel like you're always building.
Well, so that's the thing. So if we go to our monthly budget on the road, because we purchased an older vehicle, it doesn't have a warranty, all of the fixes and maintenance are on us.
This is also granted the fact that we've been traveling non-stop. We were trying to set a world record, and we were traveling from the East Coast to the West, and all the way through Canada as well. So we went everywhere.
We did a lot of miles in a few months of travel trying to do this world record, which meant that we were really pushing Lolo to the max. Average price for maintenance during that time was $250 per month.
That's just due to the fact that we had some issues with the van itself. We had parts that we had to replace and things that went wrong along our travel, and I even had to do an oil change along our way.
Honestly, in my original budget, I didn't think we were going to be spending that much on maintenance. I thought we would just have the car, it would be done, and then we could get on the road, but things break down. Even if you're just getting oil and fluids and things to like keep your motor running properly, that's all combined for us in this maintenance cost.
And that just depends on how much you're going to travel as well.
The biggest component of our monthly budget so far has been gas.
Diesel.
Because we were doing so many miles and trying to get everywhere so quickly, sometimes we were filling up our tank twice a day. Our average cost for fuel per month was $675.
Woo! That's astronomical.
We were going every day, all day, get here, next time, go, go, go. It was a lot and it was stressful.
We've learned from the fact that we've been moving so much that we haven't had a moment to actually like stop and enjoy where we are. We probably had about 3 moments this whole trip. The next biggest expense, which everybody has to have, is food.
We have two categories of food. We have groceries and we have restaurants, and then we also have coffee shops.
Yeah.
For groceries, we averaged about $400 a month. Restaurants, we averaged about $230 a month. And for coffee shops, we were averaging $60 a month. Oftentimes too, the reason that we have to go to coffee shops and restaurants sometimes is just to get Wi-Fi.
Internet. We went to like local businesses so we could always attempt to help out the locals because they're working hard and they need money as well. And normally they're the best places.
They're so vibey usually. Like there's usually like a really good energy about like locally owned coffee shops. Another budget item that's a pretty small one is laundry. You're gonna have to go to laundromats. We actually often lucked out that like along our route were friends or family, so we would pop in there, and whenever we would pop in, we would do a load of laundry. So we actually only went to a laundromat one time so far.
Yeah, we did pretty good.
Yeah, so that only cost us $10.
It's either we did pretty good or we were just really dirty the whole time.
I don't think so.
No, we weren't.
Another line item in your budget is gonna be activities or like fun stuff.
You may be in a place where they have like zip lining or downhill biking or things that you haven't necessarily bought like passes for. You're gonna wanna spend a few extra bucks.
We were doing the snowboarding trip and we purchased our snowboarding passes before the season started. On top of that, because of a little bit of stupidity, a little bit of bad luck, a little bit of just saying yes to opportunities, we had to buy lift tickets at a couple of different places as well. And also I'm looping in ski rentals into this price because there were two mountains we had to ski at.
That hurt us the most actually because we rented gear from one of the mountains, which was a ridiculous amount of price.
Expensive.
Do not rent out the mountain if you're trying to save money.
On average, we were spending about $130 per month on just activities.
Yeah. Another thing is health insurance. We all need it. So we purchased it and it cost us each $170 per month.
One big thing that we don't pay for is camping. So we've been stealth camping and we have this beautiful beast back here and she can fit in pretty much any parking spot. We've parked in Walmarts, we've parked in grocery stores, we've parked on residential streets. Pretty much all over the place, tons of ski mountains, and never had a problem. Throughout our whole trip, we've only paid to camp, never?
I don't think we ever paid to camp.
No.
But we've paid to park in some of the parking lots during our travel, but that was only because we had to be at the mountain to snowboard. But other than that, we've never paid to camp.
We did look at a couple of KOAs and campgrounds and they average about $30 a night and up if you want like full hookups and things like that. So if you're spending $30 a night, times that by 30 days in a month, that's a lot of money.
And the $30 is for no hookups. It's for just for you to park overnight there.
Right.
That's it.
So we use apps like iOverlander to find safe places to park overnight, and it's never let us down.
Never. Not once.
So parking spent an average of $30 a month, but that's only because we had to park at the mountains a couple of times, and they charge $30 a day to park, and you're not allowed to
And you're not allowed to sleep overnight.
Stupid.
Yeah. Another expense is cell phones. Before we left on our travel, we made sure to combine our cell phones so we would spend less money. We were on average saving, I think, $10 a month.
Yeah, so the total cost of our cell phone per month is $120. It's with T-Mobile, which actually has an amazing plan where you get unlimited everything.
Also Canada, Mexico, we're allowed to use our phone.
There's like 100+ countries where you can just go turn on your phone and not have
no charge.
It's not an unlimited mobile hotspot. Technically it is, but you just get buffered in speed.
Yeah.
And some people ask about that, like paying for internet on the road. So like we said, we go to coffee shops and we have our mobile hotspots and that's it. And it's been totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say totally fine.
It's pretty good.
I would say it's not totally fine because there's been points where we were trying to send information or like a video to people and it was very hard to.
Sometimes we would get to where we were gonna park for the night and we'd have no service or like one bar. But I mean, kind of the nice thing about van life is that you are disconnected sometimes.
Yeah.
And then when we want to be connected, we go into town and we go to the coffee shop.
Yeah. And so it actually causes you to watch less TV and be on the internet less and do things like that less and be able to enjoy each other's company more.
One big thing that's not in our budget that might be in a lot of people's is alcohol. We do drink, but we don't really drink that often.
No.
And I would never just like go to the store to buy a bottle of booze.
For the most part, whenever we are gonna actually drink, we're normally either meeting new people that drink and wanna go out and have a beer or a cocktail, maybe family events. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, or like if we're staying at somebody's house and they're like, oh, have a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another expense could be tolls during your travels. We only spent $8 fortunately on that. I would say the East Coast has a lot more tolls, or maybe if you're in big cities on the West Coast, out in New York, Massachusetts, all that area, they have tons of tolls out there.
Everything's a toll.
So if you are an East Coast van dweller, that's something, or you're gonna just do East Coast stuff, that's something you're gonna want to think about.
And if you are gonna do that, you should probably get an Easy Pass.
Yeah, Easy Pass saves you guys a few dollars as well.
Did you see that giant mosquito that just is floating around our camera?
Nope.
It's like Jurassic Park size.
Yeah, there's some pretty big ones out here, I noticed.
Yikes! So there's a couple other like random miscellaneous things that really don't add up to much. One would be personal care, so like if you have to buy a new bottle of shampoo or toothpaste or something. Entertainment. We don't have any streaming services that we pay for.
We actually got rid of all of them just to get rid of any type of monthly bills that we may have.
We mooch, as lots of people do,
Yeah.
so don't come judging us.
We have like a YouTube account that my family uses that
and we have
all
like
use.
a family Netflix account and stuff like that, so.
That's it.
The one thing we did pay for though was a $20 membership to Stars because my new show came out.
Alex really wanted was that, and I said, okay, you can have it.
I was having a bad day and I was like, I'm gonna spend $20.
There's certain things that you just want to say okay to your partner to have, and you should be fine with it because it helps their sanity.
I needed it that day. Then we have a category called things. This is just like random stuff that we picked up along the way. You know, a clothing item, a pair of gloves, just like random stuff.
Like we needed a light for our for our license plate because of the old one being removed at some point in time. It wasn't there when we first got the van. So when we first got back to New York, we got pulled over, which was really stupid that they pulled us over, and I told Alex they were going to.
Oh my god, that was so sketchy.
Yeah, and pulled us over, whatever, you know, no big deal. We went on our way. They told me that they pulled me over for a tag light being out. There's no tag light on that car, so we have to buy these little tiny head flashlights, and then I tie it up to the back tire to where it's ghetto as heck, and we have a light on our license plate.
There's a couple ghetto as heck things about our van, and maybe we should do a video about that.
Yeah, what's ghetto? What things in your van are ghetto? I'm interested to see what's gonna happen when we stop traveling so much and we're traveling in a smaller quantity and staying at places for a while, how much our monthly budget changes too as well. So that's gonna be interesting to compare this to that.
Yeah. So on average, we were spending $2,200 per month on the road.
Yeah.
That's with super aggressive gas usage and super aggressive maintenance costs.
Yep.
Let's compare that to New York City where we were living before this. My rent when I was living with my roommate was $1,500 a month plus utilities, plus cable, electric, all that stuff. So I was spending basically $1,700 a month just to live.
Where I lived, I actually had a lower rent. I was paying $850 a month, which was great with everything included.
When we started looking at the budget and the build and everything, I moved in with Frankie, so we were both only paying $425 a month in rent, which is unheard of in New York City. The national average of rent, it's at about $1,000 a month. So depending where you live, obviously this will be higher or lower. We just happen to live in one of the most expensive cities in the country, which definitely makes the cost of living in a van way more affordable.
Way more.
I also would rack up a credit card bill every month between groceries and whatever of at least $1,500 to $2,000 a month, just of like living in New York City.
Going to the grocery store or places like that, it's more expensive in New York, unfortunately.
So individually living in New York City, we were each spending about $3,000 a month to live.
Buco.
Whereas together in the van, we're spending $2,200 a month as a couple.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, that's $1,100 per person a month that we're spending. That's super low to live for a month.
It is.
And that's with us consuming a lot of diesel because of our travel.
Right.
Which I can't wait to slow down.
If you find a stealth camping spot and you stay in the same place for, you know, a week, 2 weeks, what's that? Like cost you absolutely nothing? Whatever like groceries you have in your car?
Yeah, it's not much. I mean, we're lucky and fortunate to be here living van life, and even in these unfortunate times, we know this time will pass, and we know that we'll be able to travel again soon. So it's, you know, it's a blessing to be able to say that we spend such little money and are able to enjoy life a lot.
The other expense that you're gonna not need anymore, I feel like we haven't really bought any consumeristic material things
Nope.
in a really long time. Like, we just don't have room to purchase things.
Yeah, we only purchase stuff if it's needed, like absolutely needed. Like if we need something for our camera, we might buy it. And it's like really hard to pull that, you know, tab to say, okay, I'm gonna buy that.
Right.
You know?
It's a much more like minimalist way of living.
Yeah, which we love it, and I feel like a lot of the community goes this way because you just don't have room for other things.
You don't have room, and then often too, you want to spend your money traveling and doing fun things and eating cool food and exploring the world. You don't want to spend your money buying stuff.
That you're gonna use one time and then let it build dust.
Right.
As if you are looking to transfer over to this type of lifestyle, one thing you can do is find all the stuff that you don't use anymore, give it a price, and sell it. Even if that price is low, that's $5 you make, that's $10 you make, that's $500 you make. It all adds up, and it adds up very quick, I can promise you that.
And we have another video on the channel about budgeting to quit your 9-to-5 job. So what we did in planning to live van life, including selling all the stuff that we didn't need anymore. So I'll drop the link to the video down below.
Yeah, for us, living in a van is way more cost effective. And it could be for you too.
Obviously, there are way more luxurious ways to live this life and more expensive rigs, and if you have to do more things or whatever, you can set your budget at whatever you want to set your budget at. We're just telling you our costs and our daily living prices, and we find this lifestyle really affordable.
Yeah, and we love it. If you think that you'd be interested, I would say at least give it a shot.
And you can always just dip a toe.
Yep.
Boop. Alright guys, that's it for this video. We hope that you've enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe to FnaVanlife because we've got a lot more awesome content coming your way.
And a lot of silly ones too. So as people know what's up, feed them hamburgers and those French fries. Let's go, Frank there.
We learn and we have fun.
Peace out.
Bye.
To our needs.
I don't know
what I was saying either, so let's cut that part out.
I was like, what?